Hello students, this chapter 3 questions, class 7, literature, English literature. In English literature, we will read the first lesson and the lesson is 3 questions. In this lesson, there is given about a king and he has 3 questions. He is seeking their answers. He wants to know the answers of his 3 questions. In this lesson, we will read about what are the questions and how did the answer, did the king get his answer? Does the king get what he wants or how did he get it? So, the topic or the title of the lesson is 3 questions. The thought came to thought. The first word is thought. This word is made from think. Think, think is a verb. And the noun form of this verb is thought. Idea. Thought means idea. The thought came to a certain king that he would never fail if he knew 3 things. An idea came in the mind of the king about 3 things. If he would know first, he would never fail. These 3 things were, what are the 3 things? What is the right time to begin something? Which people should he listen to? What is the most important thing for him to do? These are the 3 questions. To start, to begin a work, what should be the right time? What is the right time to begin something? Which people should he listen to? What is the most important thing for him to do? And for to know the answer of these questions, king sent messengers throughout his kingdom, promising a large sum of money to anyone who would answer these 3 questions. He announced in his kingdom, a person who would answer the questions must be awarded with handsome amount of money. Many wise men came to the king, but they all answered his questions differently. Different persons had different ideas. In reply to the first questions, some said the king must prepare a timetable. What is the first questions? The first questions is, what is the right time to begin something? To begin something, what would be the right time? And for this, someone suggested the answer. Only in this way, they suggested to prepare a timetable and then follow it strictly. Only in this way, they said, could he do everything at its proper time? To doing works in proper time, we get success. Others said that it was impossible to decide in advance the right time for doing something. The king should notice all that was going on, avoid foolish pleasures, and always do whatever seemed necessary at that time. It means different persons have different ideas, and yet others said that the king needed counsel of wise men. A council of wise men who would help him act at the proper time. This was because one man would find it impossible to decide correctly without help from others the right time for every action. It means they came on to conclusion that the king should have a council of ministers, a council of wise men who could advise him to find out the proper time to start to begin a work. But then others said that there were some things which could be urgent. These things could not wait for the decision of the council in order to decide the right time for doing something. It is necessary to look into the future, and only magicians could do that. The king therefore could have go to the magicians. The answer, the suggestions of the persons are varying, different. They are giving different suggestions. Someone asked for a magician because it is a magical instinct to find out the proper time to start a work. In their answers to the second questions, some said that the pupil most necessary to the king were his counselor. These were the answers of the wise men for the first questions. And what was the second question? The second question was, which pupil should he listen to? And for that, some people said the pupil most necessary to the king were his counselors. Others said the priest, a few others chose the doctors, and yet others said that his soldiers were the most necessary. For persons who would be proper persons for him for the proper time, for that he someone suggested for the counselors, someone suggested for the priests, someone suggested for the doctors, and someone suggested for the soldiers. To the third questions, some said science, others choose fighting, and yet others religious worship. And third questions was for the time. What is the most important thing? Most important time, most important people, and most important thing. For the most important thing, someone said science, others choose fighting, and yet others religious worship. As the answer to the questions were so different, the king was not satisfied. The king was confused because the different persons have different ideas for the same question. And king was not satisfied and gave no reward instead. He decided to seek the advice of a certain hermit. The king was not at all satisfied with the answers of those persons. And so he decided to get advice of a certain hermit who was widely known for his wisdom. The hermit lived in a wood. The king decided to go to the hermit who was very well known for his wisdom. Wisdom, it is also an abstract noun, and it is made from a word wise. Wise is an adjective. Wisdom. The hermit lived. Where did the hermit live? He lived in a wood which he never left. He saw no one but simple people. And so the king put on ordinary clothes. Before he reached the hermit's hut, the king left his house with his bodyguard and went on alone. Where the hermit lived in a wood. Wood means in the forest. Wood here, forest, which he never left. He saw no one but simple people. It means the hermit used to meet simple people, not a king or other persons. So the king disguised himself as a simple man and he went to see the hermit. As the king came near the hermit's hut, he saw the hermit digging the ground in the front of his hut. When the king went to the hermit, what was he doing? Hermit? Saint. Hermit means saint. Hermit is called saint. A religious person who used to live in a forest. He was digging the ground in front of his hut. He greeted the king and continued digging. It means he didn't stop his work. He kept his work starting. The hermit was old and weak, and as he worked, he breathed heavily. The hermit was continue doing his work. Though he was old and weak, and he worked, he breathed heavily. As he was working, he was feeling tired The king went up to the hermit and said, I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer three questions. How can I learn to do the right things at the right time? Who are the people I need most? And what affairs are the most important? The king put his questions to the hermit for which answer he was seeking. The hermit listened to the king but did not speak. He went on. You are tired, said the king. Let me take the spade and work in your place. What was the reaction of the hermit? He didn't stop his work. He listened, but he didn't answer at all, didn't speak other words, but he kept on doing his work. And at last the king requested him to do his work. He requested him to take his spade and work in his place. Thanks, said the hermit, giving the king his spade. Then he sat down on the ground. He started taking rest. When the king had dug two beds, he stopped and repeated his questions. Beds. Here, bed, we sleep in bed, but here beds means small patches of ground where flowers are grown or plants are grown. Small patches in ground, we make patches to grow trees or flowers. That is beds. Beds of roses, beds. Two beds. He stopped and repeated his questions. The hermit gave no answers. He didn't give any answer, but stood up, stretching out his hand for his spade, and said, Now you rest and let me work. But the king did not give him the spade and continued to dig. 1 hour passed, then another. The sun went down behind the trees, and at last the king struck the spade into the ground and said, I came to you, wise men, for an answer to my questions. If you can give me no answer, tell me so, and I will return home. Here comes someone running, said the hermit. At last, king became anxious. He reacted with the action of the hermit, because the hermit was speaking nothing. He didn't speak anything about the answer. He went on doing the work, but the hermit didn't tell him any word about the answer. And at last the king asked him, if you couldn't answer, I will go home. And the meantime, someone came running, and that replied the hermit. The king turned round and saw a bearded man, a man with beard. Bearded man. Here, bearded is an adjective form. Bearded. A man with beard. A man with beard. Beard, a person, bearded man. The bearded is in adjective form. Running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. What happened to the man? A man was come running. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. It means blood was coming out of his stomach, which he was trying to stop with his hand, with the pressure of his hand. When he reached the king, he fainted. Fainted means unconscious state. Fainted. He came in an unconscious state. Unconscious state. And fell to the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. The blood was coming out of the wound. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. The king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. The king dressed his wound, and with the hard, tough try of the king, the blood stopped. It stopped bleeding. The man felt better and asked for something to drink. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. By this time, the sun had set and the air was cool. It means the sun time passed and it was evening. The evening, it started evening. The king with the hermit's help carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. Here, bed to sleep on. Different here, beds, you read beds, and here bed patches of ground where plants are grown, and here bed, and someone sleeps in a bed a place to sleep in. So there is different of words. Okay, word has different meanings. Okay, now he put the man in a bed, on the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The king, tired by his walk and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept throughout the night. The tired king slept throughout the night. When he awoke, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. They got up early in the morning and now he wanted to know about the bearded man. Forgive me, said the bearded man in a weak voice. Why was his voice weak? Because he was wounded. He was a wounded person. He got wounded and much blood has come out of his body, and that's why he become weak and he spoke in a weak voice when he saw that the king was awake. I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for, said the king. And he told the king to forgive him, but the king was knowing nothing to forgive. How? What did he do for him to forgive him? So he said, nothing to forgive you. You do not know me, but I know you. The stranger replied the king that he knew the king, though the king didn't knew him. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you. The man was one of his enemies, enemy of the king. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you because you put my brother to death and seized my property. Why did the man had become enemy of the king? Because he had put his brother to death. It means the king had put the brother of the stranger to death and he had seized his property. I knew you had gone alone to see that hermit, and I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. The stranger had come to kill the king, but the day passed and you did not return. So I left my hiding place and I came upon your bodyguard. Came upon means the bodyguard caught him, who recognized me and wounded me. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed me my wounds. I wished to kill you, and you have saved my life. And that man tells him, he speaks that he has great wish to kill the king, but the king had saved his life. There is contradiction in the thought. Now if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant. It means the thought of the stranger changed with the kind help of the king, and will order my sons to do the same. Forgive me. The king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy so easily, and to have won him over as a friend. He not only forgave him but said he would send his servants and his own doctor to look after him, and he promised to give back the man his property. The king promised him to return his property. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the hut and looked round for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to get answers to the questions. Again, the king had great desire of knowing the answer of the questions, and for that he went to the king. The hermit was on his knees sowing seeds in the beds that had been dug the day before. The king went up to the hermit and said, "For the last time, I beg you to answer my questions, wise men. You have already been answered." The king asked him that I had asked. He was great desire of knowing the answer, and the hermit replied, "That already been answered." "How?" said the hermit, still bending down to the ground and looking up at the king as he stood before him. "How have I been answered? What do you mean?" The king could not answer. No. And that's why he asked, "What do you mean? How have I been answered?" Because hermit had told him nothing about the answer. "Do you not see, replied the hermit, "if you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and had not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away. Then that man would have attacked you, and you would have wished you had stayed with me. So the most important time was when you were digging the beds, and I was the most important man. And to do me good was your most important business. The three things: the most important time, the most important man, and the most important work." The hermit told him that the most important work was digging the beds. Why? Because he would not have been digging the bed, and he would not have stayed with the hermit. He must left the place and maybe killed by the stranger, maybe killed by the enemies. As he was digging the bed and as he was talking with the hermit, he did not leave the place, and the time that he stayed there. And that's why he said the most important time and the most important person. It means the most important time is the time when he was doing a work. You had gone away, then that man would have attacked you, and you would have wished you had stayed with me. So the most important time was when you were digging the beds. Doing the work was the most important time, and I was the most important man. And to do me good was your most important business. What good he do for the hermits? He helped the hermit. How did he help? Because he took spade and started digging the beds. Afterwards, when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him. Because if you had not dressed his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. So he was the most important man, and what you did for him was your most important business. The time the man was the most important person. Why? Because one of his enemy was surrendered, and the most important business was to serving the wounded person. Remember them. There is only one time that is important, and that time is now. It means the very time when you do a work is the most important time, and it is the most. So that's why it is called time is valuable. Time is precious. It is the most important time because it is the only time we have any power to act. Every time is important. Any time is important. The most necessary person is the person you are with at the particular moment. The important person is the person with whom you are doing work in a particular moment, particular time. For no one knows what will happen in the future and whether we will meet anyone else. And the most important business is to do that person good. It means trying best for anyone, doing best for anyone is the most important business because we were sent into this world for that purpose alone. It means every one of us has come in this world for doing work and for helping others. And this is the story of Leo Tolstoy. Thank you.